federal authorities releasing the charges for the man accused of setting 8 people on fire in that targeted terror attack in Boulder, Colorado. Officials say he's now being charged with a hate crime that's federally. And this is what they found. They found at least 14 unlit Molotov cocktails on his person, along with that makeshift flamethrower. The Molotovs comprised of glass wine carafe bottles or ball jars containing clear liquid and red rags hanging out of the bottles. He made these himself. In fact, it says that he researched on YouTube how to do this. And later, during an interview with the officials, the suspect stated outright, and he's talking, he stated he wanted to, quote, kill all Zionist people and wished they were all dead. He also stated that he would do it again. Emily, he also said during this interview he specifically targeted the Zionist group that had gathered in Boulder. He knew they planned to meet that day, Sunday at 1 p.m. He arrived at 12:55 and waited for them.
He had 14 Molotov cocktails, a flamethrower, and he also said he wanted to kill all Zionist people. First of all, my heart, thoughts, and prayers goes out to the victims and family that are involved. But this wasn't in Gaza like I hear all over the news. This wasn't overseas. This happened in Boulder, Colorado. Here. And in his car, USAID paperwork? Seriously? Hold on, let me say that again. With a terrorist with homemade bombs had U.S. foreign aid paperwork in his vehicle. Now, I want y'all to check out this timeline. Mohammed, he came here in America in 2022 and his visa expired in 2023. Let's let Karoline Leavitt take care of this.
Is legally in our country. He entered the country in August of 2022 on a B2 visa that expired on February of 2023. He filed for asylum in September of 2022. We've got the timeline that we want to put up on the screen after we read the statement there from Tricia McLaughlin. So he came in August 27th, 2022, September 29th, 2022. He filed a claim for asylum. February 26th, his authorization to stay expired. That was in 2023. But look at this. March 29th, 2023, a month after that, he's granted a work authorization by the Biden administration. What does that say, Karoline, about their vetting process?
They had no vetting process. This is something President Trump has been calling attention to for years. He talked about this on the campaign trail, how the Biden administration was allowing illegal aliens from all over the world to come into our country illegally, unvetted, untested. We had a wide open border policy, and the president was right to point that out in his statement this morning. All of that has come to an end, though, John, and this administration is focused on deporting as many of these illegal aliens who entered our country as possible. Again, this is not going to be a place of asylum for those who seek to do harm in the United States of America. We have a legal immigration process for a reason that this administration is focused on strengthening. But in the meantime, we are conducting widespread deportation operations across this country to remove terrorists like this individual from our communities every single day.
All right, we will continue to bring our viewers and listeners any new details from Boulder as we get them. Karoline, meanwhile, I want to ask you about the president and this big, beautiful bill. Rand Paul, the senator, seems to be a holdout.
Says you're not here to talk about the big, beautiful bill over here, but I just want to say it one more time. His visa expired in February of 2023, but 1 month later, the Biden administration gave him a work permit. As Karoline pointed out, they had no vetting process. And also pointed out that Trump has been calling it out for years. We didn't just fail to catch him. We processed him, we approved him, and then we looked away. That was our system. Now, Ron DeSantis, quote, "He should have never been here. He sure as hell would have been sent home." Let's check it out.
But why are we letting people like this guy into the country from Colorado? He should have never been here to begin with, and he sure as hell should have been sent home when this visa expired. And this is the wages of having basically an open border for 4 years under the previous administration. But this whole thing where, and you saw it starting on October 7th, you saw what's happened at our universities, you've seen attacks against Jews, you saw the 2 Israelis in D.C., you see this Colorado. This is really sick, but we've got to take this seriously. And you shouldn't be allowing this, having policies that allow this to foment. I do think that there's a lot that goes on, quite frankly, in some of the lies that get spread in the media that probably get some of these guys wound up. But it's really, now we've done a lot in Florida over the years. This is nothing new for us to be responding. When October 7th happened, we were rescuing Americans out of Israel. We did that before Biden even did it, and he was the president of the United States. So we have done security for Jewish day schools. We, after October 7th, we sent highway patrol and other assets. So I don't know what we've received. I haven't personally. That doesn't mean that one of our agencies hasn't, but we'll continue to respond the way that we've always responded. This type of stuff will not fly in Florida. And we will do what we can, obviously, to prevent. And certainly, if anyone makes the mistake of doing what this guy in Colorado, you will absolutely live to regret that.
Now, wow. I appreciate Governor Ron DeSantis because, he's saying what most aren't trying to say right now. This wasn't random. This was allowed by silence. By the red tape, and by an administration too soft to say no. They had all the opportunities to do something about it. Trump actually made a statement about this. He posted today. Yesterday's horrific attack in Boulder, Colorado, will not be tolerated in the United States of America. He came in through Biden's ridiculous open border policy, which has hurt our country so badly, he must go under Trump policy. He must go out under Trump policy. Acts of terrorism will be persecuted to the fullest extent of the law. This is yet another example of why we must keep our borders secure and deport illegals, anti-American radicals from our homeland. And deport illegal anti-American radicals from our homeland. My heart goes out to the victims of this terrible tragedy and the great people of Boulder, Colorado. Excuse me for the mishaps when I was reading there. If I'm being honest, my mind was in 2 different places at the time that I was reading that. However, Trump made it plain. But the critics and the left right now, the Democrats are framing this as something that's not a result of the open border policy. He came in on a plane, on a visa. That's a system issue, not just the border one. And of course, we got to hear from Tom Homan. Illegal gang members in schools, I say go and get them before there's another needless victim, and arrest the teacher if they try to stop you.
ICE was the only law enforcement agency that had a policy: you can't arrest somebody at a courthouse, you can't arrest somebody at a medical center, you can't arrest somebody at a church. And look, there's no sanctuary for a public safety threat or national security threat. So when we lifted that policy, it's like we're not going to raid schools. We're not going to go and raid a school, but if we have an MS-13 member that's a senior in this high school, and we know he's there now, we've been looking for him, we'll work with local authorities to arrest that MS-13 member. Law enforcement does that every day, every other law enforcement agency. So we're no different, but there's no sanctuary for public safety threats and national security threats. But courthouses, look, I've been in courthouses many days, many times, where I watched a father getting arrested in a courtroom for not paying child support. So why can't ICE go in a courthouse and arrest a significant public safety threat? It's the
wow.
right thing to do. Take them off the streets and put. And look, if the local prosecutor, the state or federal prosecutor, want to continue with the prosecution, they simply got to agree with us, take them back in custody, let us know when you're done with them. But there's no sanctuary for illegal aliens or a public safety threat in this country.
I mean, he pointed out something very powerful there. We're allowed to go in there and take people out for child support. But when ICE is doing their job, the double standard. Yeah, and it sounds strong now. But what was that policy in March of 2023? Because when Biden was in the administration and Kamala had the opportunity, and also while ICE was focused on courthouses, this man was making bombs. This guy, the shirtless attacker. And, Trump did say this is why we must keep our borders secure and deport anti-American radicals. This isn't a foreign threat. This is the result of blind policy, blind compassion, blind government. You see a man holding fire, and I see a system that gave him the match. Now, I want to say this. I'm not here to act like I have all the answers. I'm still watching all this unfold just like you. So all of my information could alter as the information advances. Well, that was a Kamala line right there. My perspectives will evolve as the information is evolving. So, but here's what we do know. He got in. He overstayed. He was approved to stay, rather. And then he attacked. That's what we do know. Now, you tell me, was this terrorism? Was it policy failure? Or are those just two sides of the same coin right now? Y'all drop the comment. Let me know your thoughts below. Be safe. Please go check on somebody today. You can quite literally be saving their life. Peace.